The attack on the Israeli National TV building with a ballistic missile launched by the Middle East Alliance marks one of the most symbolic and strategically significant strikes in the conflict so far. Unlike direct military installations or weapons depots, this strike specifically targeted the heart of media influence, a building that represents the state's control over communication, information, dissemination, and public perception. When a missile is aimed at such a location, it is not only the destruction of infrastructure that comes under discussion, but the deeper psychological and informational impact that ripples across society. People see a crumbling military post as a tactical hit, but when a landmark media headquarters falls, it sends shockwaves through the public consciousness, raising questions about national security, control of information, and the vulnerability of institutions thought to be untouchable. The ballistic missile used in this strike is a highlight of both engineering precision and symbolic intent. Ballistic missiles are designed to travel long distances, reaching speeds that make them difficult to intercept by even the most advanced air defense systems. Unlike smaller rockets or artillery shells, these weapons follow a high-arching trajectory, re-entering with extreme velocity and force. In this case, the missile carried sufficient explosive payload to ensure not only the collapse of the targeted building, but also the crippling of surrounding facilities. Analysts highlight that the strike demonstrates not only technological advancement on the side of the alliance, but also strategic foresight in choosing a target that would reverberate far beyond physical destruction. Observers note that Israeli air defense systems such as Iron Dome and David's Sling are generally highly effective against short-range rockets and drones. However, they are challenged by ballistic missiles, which travel at much higher speeds and have unpredictable re-entry paths. This attack exposes the limitations of those defense layers, showing that even with billions of dollars invested into protection, no system can guarantee absolute security. This vulnerability plays into the broader narrative of deterrence, where the Middle East Alliance signals that critical state infrastructure is no longer safe. Regardless of its location or importance, the destruction of the Israeli National TV building is also a blow to the psychological warfare dimension of conflict. Media buildings are symbols of power, influence, and authority. When images circulate of such a facility engulfed in smoke and rubble, the impact reaches beyond national borders, sparking discussions internationally and shifting narratives about who holds the upper hand in the confrontation. For viewers within Israel, it creates an atmosphere of uncertainty, as the very institution that provides updates, official statements, and reassurance has itself become a victim of the conflict. For audiences in the Middle East and globally, the strike carries a message of capability, strength, and determination from the alliance. The precision of the missile strike also underlines advancements in targeting technology. Ballistic missiles are not always associated with pinpoint accuracy, often used for broader destruction rather than surgical hits. Yet in this case, the missile's trajectory and impact suggest careful calculation, likely supported by surveillance, intelligence, and possibly satellite coordination. The ability to isolate a major urban target like the TV headquarters while minimizing collateral damage speaks to both technical skill and strategic planning. This adds to the growing perception that the alliance has developed or acquired technologies capable of competing with some of the most advanced military powers in the region. Another crucial aspect of this event is the symbolic weight of information warfare. Media is often referred to as the fourth pillar of power in modern societies, shaping narratives, guiding public opinion, and acting as the mouthpiece of the state. Destroying the physical infrastructure of a national broadcaster is not merely an attack on a building, it is an attack on the state's ability to project its image and voice. This becomes especially powerful in a time of war, where controlling the story is almost as important as controlling the battlefield. By striking the TV building, the alliance sends a clear message. Even the tools of narrative domination are not immune from destruction. From a design perspective, the Israeli National TV building was a significant landmark, built with reinforced architecture meant to withstand conventional threats and disasters. Its central location, prominence, and role as a communications hub made it a high-value asset. However, the sheer force of a ballistic missile. Traveling at thousands of kilometers per hour with an explosive payload engineered for maximum structural devastation renders traditional reinforcements inadequate. This mismatch between defensive construction and offensive firepower is a stark demonstration of how warfare technology has outpaced urban security design. Buildings created to resist bombings or local attacks are not necessarily equipped to handle direct ballistic impacts. The performance of the missile itself is another point of focus. It combines speed, range, and destructive capability, which are the three pillars of missile effectiveness. The missile's flight trajectory showcased its ability to evade early detection until late in its path, reducing the window of interception. The detonation sequence ensured maximum energy release on impact, collapsing the upper structures before rippling downward, a common characteristic of high explosive payload design. Experts speculate that the missile could have been designed with reinforced warhead casing, allowing it to penetrate the upper surfaces of the building before detonation, ensuring internal collapse rather than surface-level damage. This kind of performance indicates a step beyond improvised or standard-grade weaponry. Moving into the realm of sophisticated military engineering, the broader implications of this strike reach into political, military, and social dimensions. Militarily, it highlights the reach and competence of the Middle East alliance in targeting not only military sites, but also high-profile non-military assets. Politically, it undermines the sense of stability within Israel, where citizens expect state institutions to remain secure regardless of conflict intensity. Socially, it creates a ripple effect of fear, uncertainty, and frustration, as people question the ability of the government to safeguard even its most prominent facilities. It also raises questions about continuity of communication, as state broadcasters often play a critical role during wartime in delivering updates, instructions, and morale-boosting content. What makes this event particularly unique is the combination of symbolic value and technical precision. Many military strikes are aimed purely at reducing physical capabilities, destroying bases, depots, airfields, or equipment. This strike, however, goes further by targeting the symbolic heart of information control. A sight tied not to weapons, but to influence. When combined with the technical mastery required to execute these strikes successfully, it creates an attack that is both materially destructive and psychologically resonant. It's a reminder that in modern warfare, power is not only measured in tanks and aircraft, but also in the ability to shape minds and perceptions for Israel. The rebuilding process will not be just about physical reconstruction of the TV building, but about restoring confidence in its defenses and information systems. For the Alliance, the strike stands as a demonstration of capability and resolve, a statement that even institutions considered beyond reach are vulnerable. The event will likely push Israel to accelerate upgrades in its missile defense technology, expand its reliance on underground and mobile broadcasting solutions, and adapt its communication strategies to ensure continuity in times of crisis. At the same time, the Alliance will view this as validation of its strategy, proof that carefully chosen symbolic targets can achieve disproportionate effects without requiring massive barrages or extended campaigns. The missile strike on the Israeli National TV building thus represents a turning point, not only in the technical evolution of the conflict, but also in its psychological and symbolic dimensions. It illustrates how modern warfare blends military performance, precision engineering, and narrative impact into a single event. The features of the missile, the vulnerabilities of the defense systems, the symbolic weight of the target, and the social consequences all intertwine to create an incident that will be analyzed by military experts, political leaders, and media scholars alike for years to come.